also, I was very involved with movie stars and movie magazines and all that junk that most, I guess, kids that age like. And my walls in my room were full of movie stars, movie actors. And one particular day, I was about 14 and a half, I had to get on a chair, because I couldn't reach, standing up, I couldn't reach the wall anymore to hang more pictures. And I had to stand on a chair in order to reach the wall higher so I could hang more of my movie stars that I'd cut out for magazines. And as I'm trying to reach higher, Maurice walked in and he says, "Do you need any help?" As usual, he was always kind and helpful. And I said, "Yes, I need more of those tacks." So he handed them to me, and I finished hanging up this one particular picture. And then as I was trying to get off the chair, he took out his two hands, like I should, reach for his hands, and he'll pull me down off the chair. And as I bent over and I reached toward him, he should help me get on the chair. What he did was he grasped me into his arms, and he held me there for a while. And I stayed against him. I let him hold me. And he held me very tight, very close. And I didn't budge. I didn't dare move. It was a good feeling. He didn't embrace me right away. He didn't kiss me, but he did hold me very tightly close to him. And I couldn't move. I was like hypnotized. He then started to stroke me. I'm sure nobody else was in the house. I don't think anything would have happened otherwise. He started to stroke me in a very gentle way. And I didn't move. I let him. I didn't know what to do anyway. And it did feel very good, holding me, caressing me. And then he started to kiss me on my cheeks. And I kissed him back on the cheek. I'm trying very hard to remember why I did not turn away, or why I didn't push him away, or why. I was aware of love stories and of hugging and kissing. I had read a lot of books by then, but it just never occurred to me to push him or to say stop it or to fight it. Or I liked the feeling. I liked to be close to him. I did become infatuated with him, and my admiration for him was tremendous. In comparison with my mother and her lack of attention and love toward me, which she had given so completely to Willie, it just never occurred to me to push him away, that something was happening here, and that it was wrong. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. All I knew is that it felt good to be hugged and kissed. And since I did not push him away or discourage it, I just stood there and took it all. Continued the caressing of my breast, my body, my hair, my ears, my face, my cheeks. It felt just fantastic. It felt great. I myself remember not responding. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I just stood there and I just enjoyed it. But I also know I didn't feel any excitement, anything sexually excitement. I didn't know what it felt like. All I knew is that it felt good. And he then continued all that, plus kissing in a way that, of course, I'd never been kissed before. And that was really an experience. It was indescribable. It was fantastic. It was great. It was beautiful. And I don't think I responded. I mean, I just didn't know what the hell to do with it all. I just let him kiss me, hug me, touch me. I couldn't fight him off. It never occurred to me. And it did feel good. And I did feel so wanted. And it was such a good feeling. He stopped then. Nothing further happened except that very closeness and intimacy we had. And that was all. And then when we slowly separated, he just smiled at me. And I smiled back. And that was it. I mean, that was just it. And then we sat down at my desk. And he continued with the lessons. It was math, of course, since that was my weak subject. Today is May 24, 1975. It is last night at 1:30, until 1:30 a.m. that I recorded this whole passage of events. I saw that today I could just continue the saga of Maurice and I up to the year 1949 when I decided to leave for Israel. I will come back to where I left off last night. But this morning I'm feeling very, very depressed for many good reasons, and instead of calling a few people that maybe could help me, I'm going to try to get out of it by myself. I'm going to try to express all what I'm feeling now, and maybe I won't need any help. The phone just rang, and it happens to be my very good girlfriend Marsha, who in fact called me yesterday and said no matter what time of the day or night it is, I should call her. I should not hesitate to call in case I get another one of those depressions. I told her I'd call her back in half an hour. I must get this out into this record, into this cassette, and see if I can work it out myself. Stewie left yesterday morning to visit his parents in Florida. His mother is in a nursing home, and his father is in a condominium in Florida. He lives in Hollandale. His father hasn't been feeling too well lately, and Stewie, being the very good son that he is, after his father asked him to come, of course he had to go. Now, because of going through analysis and working with Nola, mainly my main problem is at this point is always going back, thinking back, and it's supposed to be healthy and useful for the future, but it's not easy. Anyway, he left for 4 days to it. He left yesterday at 9, and he's not coming back till Monday night, which is 4 full days to be away. I also mentioned quite a while ago that I'm very much into bridge. Not that I'm a good bridge player, but I just love the game, and it's the only time I don't have time to think about myself. So I called Lenny Papa, who is a life master at bridge. I called him, and I went out to play with him a few times. He has a lot of patience. He's been very good and very helpful with criticism. And each time I do play with him in these duplicate games, I feel I learn a lot. Anyway, when I found out I had Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night to myself, since Dewey was in Florida, I decided to call Lenny Papa yesterday morning and ask him if he could take me to a duplicate game. He accepted, and we went to West Hampstead. And the game was, I was playing pretty well as far as bidding goes and leads go, but in the middle of the hand, and 90% of the time it was defensive playing, and I don't know, I just forgot who had what, and he came out a little strong with me for the very first time. As before, maybe he expected less of me, but he came out quite strongly, and I did make quite a 2-3 bad mistakes. And at the end of the duplicate game, it turns out that we should have been in first by 1.5 had I not made those mistakes. Well, that's actually neither here nor there, but the point is I came home last night extremely stimulated and very angry at myself for goofing up something that was very elementary as far as bridge playing. And that's when I decided to record those few years of my mother's remarriage and the beginning of a long experience and influence with Maurice, my stepfather. I taped till about 2 in the morning. I finally fell asleep. I was so exhausted. This morning I woke up at 6. I should have slept till 10, 11.